Let's go back to the three questions. The three questions that we started with. The what question, the how question, and the for whom. When we look at the economy, our type of economy, we can look at it as a continuum. At one end of that continuum, we have what we call a command economy. A command economy basically means that the government drives it all. The classic example of a command economy would be communism. At the other end of the extreme is what we call a market economy. And a market economy means that the market forces everything. Is our economy a pure market economy? Of course not. The government does play a role. Are communist nations pure command economies? No. There are market forces there as well. In reality, every economy out there is a mixed economy. What we have to look at is where they lie on this continuum. If we look at this, somebody like Cuba will be very much towards the command economy. Whereas the USA will be very much towards a market economy. The American government does have a role to play in our economy. A pure market economy is probably not the best thing. A pure command economy, not the best thing. So everybody's kind of a mix. And the idea here is that we strike a balance. Where do we want to be on this continuum? We have market failures when we're over here. We have government failures when we're over here. Anytime we're not getting the best outcome, one of the two has failed. And we try to balance those so that neither happens. An easy example to look at of a market failure would be pollution. In an unregulated economy, the how question is cheapest way possible. If we truly produce the cheapest way possible, you'll see people like DuPont just dumping their waste in the river. Is that beneficial to us? No. So what we need is for the government to come in and regulate that. You have your EPA standards. That's a form of influence the government plays. So it's striking that balance. One of the big debated items right now, if we look at it, is nationwide health care. Is nationwide health care a good thing? I don't know. That's your opinion. But if we go towards that, we're actually moving in this direction. If you want more government intervention, you move us towards there. And it's the individuals in the economy that have to make those choices. It's striking that balance. Now, in here, this is microeconomics. And what we're going to do in here is study how individuals make choices. The individual's behavior in our economy. The other study in economics is called macro, and there you study the economy as a whole. Now, I'm going to tell you that economics can predict human behavior. And that's absolutely true. But one thing we need to keep in mind is that economics is a social science, meaning that it involves human behavior. Humans are not the same. There's a huge variety in behaviors. Therefore, we're going to refer to somebody named Average Joe. I can tell you what Average Joe will do in any circumstance. I can't tell you what the individual you will do. I can tell you that if Coke goes on sale next week, I believe more people will buy Coke. That is a fact. I personally will not. I will stick with Pepsi because I like it. But economics will say people will buy it. That's why we've got to kind of watch things. Two terms that we need to know. The first one is called ceteris paribus. ceteris paribus. And that is our assumption that nothing else will change. Where the book will say everything else remains equal. What we have done in our experiments is we'll vary one factor, one variable, and we'll lock all the others into place. You'll see that term over and over, ceteris paribus, and it means if we alter this and nothing else changes, what will be the result? Because that's what we're looking at. Okay, another term that we kind of skipped over earlier but needs to be expressed is that of laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is another term meaning market economy. Laissez-faire says government, keep your hands off. That's basically what it means. Okay, there's a couple problems with theory versus reality here. First, we have the ceteris paribus assumption we have to use. Second, politics. Because economics is so linked to politics, we always are having these shifts. Politicians tend to mess with the economy constantly. So that makes it a little more difficult. And third is that of imperfect knowledge. It is very difficult to know every variable out there. An example would be if I knew that ribeye steak was going on sale for $1 a pound next week, I would easily predict a huge increase in the quantity demanded for ribeye steak. People would be out buying it in droves. However, possibly I didn't know the FDA was going to put out a warning that evening that says that ribeye steak is tainted by E. coli. Would that have an impact? Yes. But I didn't know that in my analysis. And there are so many variables out there, I can't possibly know them all. So we've got to be careful. That, in a nutshell, is what Chapter 1 is about. I hit the high points in this, and you can read it for yourself. My goal in all of these sessions will be to translate what they talk about in economic terms into plain English. On the test, it will be back in economic terms. So we need to become familiar with those, and terminology is very important. The idea of these lectures is that I'll put it in plain English for you, and you'll be able to follow it along in the book. And that's the end of Chapter 1. Thank you.